Scott's going to kick it off.
All right, so I'm Scott Karsner. In 2016, we started our Maryland Pez Gathering. We met, Katie and I met, and we met Dave and Robin at Pennsylvania, if you've ever been up there for that. And we were like, oh man, we're all from Maryland. We should do something down there. So we did. So we met at Thanksgiving time frame. We met at my house, and we started with our first Maryland Pez Gathering in 2016. And so chronologically on the table here, we have dispensers all the way back from our very first Thanksgiving 2016 set of 4 with turkeys on them, and then moving our way down. So as you can see, the not so good design was mine in the first year, and then Katie graciously said, can I do the designs? And I said, absolutely you can. And you can see the market improvement from there. Somewhere in there, Katie came up with Zep, which is our Pez mascot for the Maryland Pez Gathering. And I have brought a couple of things as we were trying to figure out how to represent Zep well on a Pez dispenser. I had a couple different artists help us try to figure some things out. And these were just basically some prototypes. This one here, I had a guy make, I do not remember their name, but they made this one out of ceramic, and it just sits on top of a regular. And so you can take a look at that one, but very top heavy. And then I also reached out, some of you guys might remember Alma. I don't remember what country she's in. Anybody remember where Alma does the miniatures? Anybody? She doesn't make them anymore. She stopped making miniatures. But I asked her one year if she could make miniature Zep. And so for those who are recording, we can take a closer look here on the mini Zep here. And so I asked her if she could make them, so we could make them the dispenser we would give out. You guys can pass it around if you want to. If we could pass, that we could give out as the dispenser that year. And so she made one prototype, and she said it was really fun and really cool, but it was way too hard to make, so I'm just going to make you the one. And so that's what we have.
I think that's historically been the case where people try to make Zep and they're like, this crap is crazy. I have another prototype. I should have brought it, but Drew Lepper made one out of acrylic that looks pretty nice. Maybe you'll see that in the future, but the history of Zep, I don't know how.
No, I'm passing off, and then Katie took over, and I'm going to give it up to Katie.
Do you want to talk about Charity Water?
Sure. Okay, so Charity Water was one of our original charities that we were sponsoring or helping out, and I think we raised somewhere around $8,000 over the years for Charity Water, and they help put in wells in all parts of the world, places that don't have water. It's still a thriving organization, so you can check them out, charitywater.org online. So we have made some Charity Water dispensers, we made some trucks, all different colors, and then we have made some different ones to help sell to raise some money for them. So.
Yeah, and we still got a link on our website too if you want to check them out. They're fantastic. To piggyback off of Zep, started out, what the heck is Zep? It's a Maryland blue crab is where we got the inspiration from, and the body of it is actually a sour blue raspberry candy, so that's why it's kind of more brick shaped. Tie it back in there, and then Scott had a contest on Facebook on what to name it. We had a few choices, and Zep won, which is Pez spelled backwards, which is fantastic. And then, so I started the design in 2017, and Scott has started to do Muppet dispensers for the registration ones, and then the sour ones is the absentee dispensers. So I took some inspiration from the first shirt, things from the Maryland flag. In case you haven't noticed, we love our flag. We put it on everything, and it has a lot of different interesting elements. So I like to use the shapes and things like that. And then further on, I've taken more and more things from the actual dispenser for the designs. So we started out in 2017 with this piggy and the pineapple. Then 2018 we moved on to Gonzo, hence the little flappy things up on above the bow tie there. Then 2019 moved on to Fozzie. He's known for his little polka dots, so that's why I chose that for the shirt element there. And Zep's wearing a little hat like Fozzie does. And then 2020.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Before we go too far on that, is any trivia? Why would we have picked Muppets? And we're in Maryland. Jim Henson?
Jim Henson, yeah.
Went to University of Maryland. Ding, ding, ding. Prize for this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll just take what I want.
Just take what you want.
And who's the graduation speaker this year at Maryland?
You guys in trouble.
Yeah, no, there's a method to the madness here. So that's been really fun to play off of that. So then 2020, we all know what happened. Everything shut down, and we couldn't have an in-person gathering. So luckily, Morgan and Landon were very nice enough through the virtual Pez convention to host us virtually that year. So we didn't have like a full pack, but we did have a pretty limited set of the Flintstone Pez. I think there's only, 4 or 5 sets?
Not many sets.
Not many sets. And Joe Parabati and I were in a bidding war, and we both ended up getting a set, which is great. So I'm so thankful I have that set. Then we came back in person in 2021 and rounded out with Kermit, and then the last sour dispenser there. So played around with that, and that was Scott's last year hosting. I knew that going in, and you announced it at the end, and it was amazing that you hosted us so many years, and I was definitely afraid. I decided, like a crazy person, to change the date from November to May, so that only gave me 5 or 6 months to whip it together. And things were still kind of like lockdown-ish, like vibes there. So I was trying to look for a venue not at my house. You were brave to have it at your house. You can call my pictures, no way. So trying to find a venue that worked, and this was outside. So State Park, it's been lovely having it here. So that was my first year. So now that all the Muppets were done, I was trying to think, what the heck do we do for the dispenser now? So I'm like, what else is Maryland themed? You all heard of the Preakness? It's a horse race. It's one of the 3 in the Triple Crown. And coincidentally, each year I have chosen Preakness Day to have it. So horses. So sure, there's some other horses, but we've got My Little Pony. Those are fun. So on the side of the stem there, Black-Eyed Susans are the flowers. So that's the official state flower, and it's a big presence at the Preakness. But fun fact, the big blanket on the horse were not actually Black-Eyed Susans. They're little painted daisies because they're not in season right now. There you go. So we started registration dispenser, and then there's a crystal version for Friends of Zep. So if you donate or help out in some way, you get that dispenser. And then charity, we pivoted. Charity Water was great, but I really, really love animals. So Small Miracles Cat and Dog Rescue in Ellicott City is a great organization. Some of my vets have recommended. I looked them up. They on Charity Navigator, and it's pretty on the up and up. So we started off with Hello Kitty, and each year we have like a standard charity dispenser, and then we have a more limited one. And then after this gathering too, online we always have like a raffle for even more limited to help raise more funds. And then moving on, so we started off with Rainbow Dash, and on to Pinkie Pie, and then Shutterfly, and this year is Twilight Sparkle. The charity dispensers, then I'm trying to alternate between cats and dogs. So it was Hello Kitty with the red bow first, and then Scooby-Doo for the standard, and then more limited was the full body Hello Kitty. Last year was Duke from Secret Life of Pets, and this year is Chloe from Secret Life of Pets. And you probably guess it's going to be a dog next year, most likely. The secrets of the Secret Life. I don't know. Who knows? It's a surprise. Yeah, so the thing about the ponies, it's really fun to play around with their shape and silhouettes. But My Little Ponies, I don't know if you know, the little marking they have on their haunches is called a cutie mark. So I played around with that sometimes as a sticker or a pin or other element to the design there. So in case you're like, what the heck are the balloons about? Or, the sunflower, like the Black-Eyed Susan or the butterflies, things like that. And then back here we've got our Zep birthday dispensers. He turned 5 in 2017. So there you go. So made different variations there. And somewhere in the past, I can't remember which exact year, he won the Pezzy Award for Best Gathering. So that was really amazing. It was voted on by fans on Facebook. So it means a lot coming from, I'm sure, many of you here, which is great. And then this year is our 10th year. So, I thought, first doing this, I was like, oh, we started in 2016. 2026, that'll be it. And then I'm like, nope, that's not how this works. Do the math. 2016, I was like, oh no, let's do something. Yeah, big here. So if you've got, I have some extras if you didn't get one and you want one, but we have a 10th special pack here with a Maryland flag and a special stem with the colors of the Maryland flag as well. And then I partnered with Cameron Smith to take a bunch of these really great photos of our dispensers throughout the years for this little calendar. It starts in June, so you can start using it pretty immediately. Yay! And it ends in May, and I got a little Black Eyed Susan on the 16th. That should be Preakness Day next year. So save the date here. So it was really great. He took time out of his schedule during Pezzamania to take some photos for me because I only have some of these dispensers are one of one. So it was really great. I didn't want to put that through the mail. And then we got some buttons too as well and magnet. I'm trying to think what else. That's kind of us in a nutshell. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you had the first one, did you ever think there would be a second?
I guess. Well, I at least knew I was like, well, I'll see Katie and Dave and Robin again.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we'll do this again next year, but we didn't know necessarily it would grow to where we are now. Katie's definitely taking it to the right for sure. So
Yeah, I didn't think it'd get to be this big, and I love it. And if it stays this size, fantastic. If it grows even more, yes, bring all the Pez heads to the dark side. We have sugar.
If you ever hosted one of these sort of things, you know it's an insane amount of work. So kudos to Katie for continuing on the legacy.
I definitely want to say thank you to my helpers and then everybody who's ever donated anything. Can't do this without you. Yes, definitely a village, and yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's fun. Getting to come up and brainstorm ideas. That's definitely the most fun.
So we'll leave these out if you guys want to
Take a look.
peruse through.
I know what's here.